I didn't mean to.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Bushwick's Review Hub. Today we're going to be doing a review on the new movie, Companion.
The first was the day I met Josh.
I'm Josh.
I'm Iris.
And the second, the day I killed him.
Now, Companion is a 2025 American dark comedy, sort of thriller, love story, action. It's a lot of things combined into one in this movie. And when I first seen this trailer, I was, a little bit intrigued by it, by the thought of someone buying a robot for intimacy purposes and then jailbreaking them, or what was the whole purpose of them jailbreaking them if the robot already sort of did the intimacy purposes already for them. And obviously in the trailer it gave us a little hint of what was going to happen, exactly the jailbroken robot obviously, in the trailer's eyes went crazy and killed everyone in the cabin.
This is so wrong, this is so wrong!
But obviously there was an underlying story that they weren't going to tell until the movie came out. So yeah, it stars Jack Quaid as a fella that buys his intimacy robot, and then Sophie Thatcher happens to be his intimacy robot. Now, it progresses a little bit further along that too, where pretty much just it sees these two are going to a cabin for a little holiday with their friends, and then it comes about that she's a companion robot. Now, it also stars Lukas Gage, Suri, Harvey Gillian, and Rupert Friend. Now, just like before I get into it, this movie was actually made on a $10 million budget, and already it's made $33 million, so they've got to be really happy with that. Even though it's a weirder story, it still ended up being a very good movie to watch. And just quickly, just like to thank all my old subscribers for watching my videos. Still love you all, we'll never forget yous. And as well, all the new people watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if anything you want to chat about this movie, leave it in the comments. Now let's get on with it. So I'll give you guys a little bit of the storyline. When you first get to see it in the movie, it starts off with Sophie Thatcher's character being Iris the robot in a shopping centre or supermarket thing. And next thing you know, she looks up and sees her friend, or the person that wants her, named Josh, who's played by Jack Quaid. Now, he, obviously, I don't know at the start if he actually knew her or it was just meant to be like one of these fate things where she looks up and, oh my god, there he is, I'm going to have him. Well, that's how it actually ended up. So yeah, once it cuts through to after that, supermarket scene, that's where you get to see him getting ready and heading off to the cabin so they can meet Josh's friends. And that's when Iris is getting a little bit nervous because she knows that, the people there don't really like her or don't really know much about her. And as well, she doesn't even know herself that she's a robot, because if she did, it would actually disrupt her in some way. I'm not too sure how, but it would. So once they get to the cabin, everyone meets and yeah, everything seems very friendly. So they all settle in. Iris goes upstairs, has a shower and whatnot, gets everything ready, comes down, has dinner. Josh, says to her, just be happy, smile, be happy, all this stuff. And yeah, through it, she still feels like she's an actual person when a couple of the people there actually know that she's not really a person, she's just a companion bot. So it seems well, everything goes well the first night, have dinner, a couple of drinks. A little bit of intimacy, like, he should, because it's a companion bot. Next thing you know, they're waking up, it's the next day. She's looking out over the lake. It looks like it's an extremely nice day. Old Josh, Jack Quaid's character's complaining about having a hangover from the night before. Sends her down to the lake by herself, even though it was his idea originally, apparently, to send for them both to go down the lake. And so yeah, next thing you know, she's like, okay, that's fine. She heads off down the lake by herself. And that's when she's approached by one of the other people at the lake house named Sergey, a Russian fella. And that's when stuff starts to unfold.
As guest, please stay. Keep this old Russian man company.
And yeah, it's probably a little bit predictable at this stage, Really nice companion bot down by the lake. Russian fella in a robe, just wearing his DTs all tanned up. Bit predictable where it was going to go from there. And obviously, he tried to get his, little bit with the robot. She didn't appreciate it. And one thing led to another. Old Sergey got stabbed in the neck. Pretty cool. But, from all the robot movies we've ever watched back in the day, Skynet, iRobot, anything you can think of, apparently all the robots were meant to have built into them that they can't actually hurt humans. So something must have happened along the way where she could actually hurt a human. And then it cuts to sort of, Josh and the guys, everyone else hanging out at the house, chilling out, waiting for Iris to get back. Next thing, she rocks back up, head to toe, covered in blood. They're like, what's going on, Iris? She explains what happens, and then somehow or another, someone says something about being a robot. She looks and then Josh shuts her down. So at this stage, after Josh has shut her down, he's convinced everyone that obviously Iris has gone crazy and just stabbed him, wildly. It must just be something in her program that's wrong with her. When in actual fact, you get to see earlier on, he actually inserts a stick into his phone, which is what controls Iris. And sort of what it looks like to me, he jailbroke his robot. And, took away things that he wasn't supposed to, so obviously to be able to harm human, and turned up the aggression level on her. So it ends up that him and his friends, they decide, well, we've got to call the police and tell them what happened, and, all the other nonsense has got to go on. And he's like, okay, but I just want to say goodbye to Iris because, I still love her even though she's, my companion bot. So he goes and starts saying goodbye, turns her on, explains to her, starts talking to her, fully explains to her that she's actually a robot. She couldn't really understand it at the start till he showed her a couple of things. And then once she did understand that, yeah, she didn't really take it too well. She wasn't really happy about it. She kept trying to talk to him, trying to work it out. Like, they could work it out. They didn't need to, hand her in or reset her or anything like that. She was getting really upset about that. And that's when one of his other friends, that happened to be the fella that she killed, sort of partner or girlfriend, came around and got real angry because she seen that Josh still had it activated. And then in that moment, Josh has decided to stand up, walk away from Iris, and chat to this other lady. And that, in doing so, let Iris sort of get her little bit of a time to try and escape, which she does. Once she escapes, she jabs old Josh straight in the throat.
Oh fuck, Ira's gonna...
Josh goes down like a sack of potatoes. She gets up, funny enough, tells the person he was chatting to how to fix him, sort him out, if he needs any help, send him to the hospital, and then she takes off running for the bushes. And then after she's disappeared in the bushes, that's when everything's really got to come to light about what happened and how she come about doing this. And it ends up that Josh, the main fella, being, Jack Quaid's character, and this other lady he was talking to, who happens to be his friend in the movie called Kat, they actually set it up so that Iris the robot would actually kill Sergei, because Sergei's just this really rich Russian fella that, well, they thought he was a rich Russian gangster, but ends up he's just a dirt farmer that ended up being really rich. So, yeah, bit of an unfair killing for old Sergei, but he's really rich. They just wanted the robot to do it so they couldn't get in trouble for it. And so it has to come out that they have to go catch her and able to bring her back so they can reset her. Otherwise, the people that actually own the robot would be able to find out what they actually did. And this is where the movie really started getting interesting for me, when they go out and try and, hunt down a robot. And that's when all the twists and murders and just...
We're going robot hunting.
Oh, okay.
Fun, huh?
Fun.
I find it funny as well. Most people, maybe other people won't, but I do, as well as my wife found it funny. A couple of how people got murdered or how they died, it just happens to be sort of like a realistic sort of way, realistically, if I was in that situation, yeah, that would have happened to me. Like, for instance, let's just say, rolling down a hill, dropping your gun, person picks up the gun that you're chasing and shoots you with it. That's a realistic thing that would happen. But yeah, guys, that's about all the storyline I want to give you, because this is another good movie you really need to go out and watch. Yes, at the start, it was a good 45 minutes maybe that it was really, dragging on, trying to tell the story at the start before it actually got to the interesting stuff. But once you do get to the interesting stuff, or the twists, what actually happened, her trying to get away, and then all the little things that happen in between it, is really good. I think one of my favourite scenes out of the movie, or one of the funniest scenes, was obviously when she first got away and she's got his phone, and then she realises how she's actually able to control it, change the pitch, tone of her voice, change her eye colour, and then she gets to the bottom and changes her intelligence all the way up to 100%. And at the start, you see a little bit of a flashback when Josh is getting his robot, and they explain to him what actually happens. And apparently, if you put it to 100% on the robot, it sort of turns into an Ivy League, college sort of person. But if you had it on, 0% or 10%, it would just be a normal automatic robot. So yeah, once she turns hers all the way up to 100%, it's just amazing how she thinks, and then what she thinks of what she's going to do and how she's going to get away. Because once she does that, she just really just wants to be free, honestly. And that's the scary sort of Skynet thing about it, isn't it? Letting the robot have its own brain and then be free. And just a special note for Harvey Gilliam, a fella in the movie. He's actually really hilarious in this movie. He plays one of, obviously, Josh's friends. And then in the movie, it ends up, all the way through, that his partner ends up being a companion bot as well, but a really older model. And when they have a fight about it, that's like really hilarious. Like, he goes straight up to Josh, "What are you, robot shaming me? Because my robot's a lot older than yours."
God knows you could have traded him in for a newer model like many times.
Fucking robo-shaming me?
And I found that was like really hilarious. But overall, guys, yeah, even though it's just a little quick one, I feel this movie is definitely another one to go watch. Like, it's got the good action, it's got the twists, it's got the comedy beside it as well. Like, yeah, it's a little bit drawn out at the start, but if you can get through that, it's definitely a good watch. There's not a lot of good watches I feel coming out lately, and this one happens to be one of them. The Gorge was one of them, which I did a review on. That was really good, but this movie is, again, up there with it. Probably not as good as The Gorge, but The Gorge was along my sort of line of what I liked, whereas this was sort of like my wife's sort of like, thinking along the lines. But still, a really awesome movie for everyone to go check out. Now, again, thank you to all my subscribers for liking and watching my videos. Love yous all. And as well, anyone new watching, don't forget to like, subscribe. And if you have anything you want to chat about, or if you watch this movie, come back and chat to me and we'll leave it in the comments. Now, I'll catch yous on the next one.